The brutal truth of the bikie life is that the only way most of them leave it is in a body bag. However, some do manage to get a second chance and sometimes a third. Here is list of top 7 bikies who literally bit the bullet and still survived the assassination attempt. Not only these men of steel from Australia and New Zealand shocked the assailants, but also the doctors and the paramedics who treated them after they were brutally shot. Toby Mitchell, ex-Bandito and ex-Mongols boss, was famously ambushed outside the Bandito MC Clubhouse in Weston Street, Brunswick, in 2011. He was hospitalized under police guard after he was hit 5 times in the hip and back. He was on life support for weeks and had half a kidney removed. The mission to kill Mitchell was spectacularly unsuccessful, and it ended up being a chase through a public car park with shots being fired indiscriminately. 2 years later in 2013, Toby was wounded again, as gunfire erupted on a visit to the Diablos Clubhouse in Melton. Mitchell was shot in an arm as he walked into the clubhouse. Toby miraculously survived these 2 attempts of execution. Sam the Punisher Abdulrahim, the famous boxer and ex-Mongol who became the latest addition to the list of men of steel. Abdulrahim got dramatically shot 4 times in his chest while driving back from funeral. Sam's own photographic evidence of his wounds show just how fortunate he was to survive. Riddled with holes, he drove himself to a local police station, later being taken to the hospital. He is said to be recovering since. Police are still searching for the men who did this. Investigations and inquiries are ongoing. Comanchero Sergeant-at-Arms, Tarek Zaheed made headlines and stunned doctors and surgeons, as he continues to recover after being shot 10 times during an assassination attempt on May 10, 2022. His brother was killed in this attack. Zaheed was shot in the head, arms, legs, stomach and pelvis, remarkably surviving the shooting after spending days in a coma. A senior emergency physician at a Sydney hospital who had seen multiple gunshot wounds described his survival as incredible. To be shot in the head, the chances of survival are so small, let alone direct shot through the eyeball, is exceptional, the doctor said. He should rush out and get Powerball tickets. At that time, doctors believed that his chances of survival were less than 5%. Zaheed survived hail of bullets that shredded his body, a worthy member to be in the list of men of steel. Next entry in the list is Mark Balsally. In 2017, former Comanchero and ex-Mongols member Mark Balsally was attacked in inner Melbourne and shot 8 times in an attack which might well have ended his life. Balsally survived the assassination attempt, and it was later discovered that it was Balsally's former friend and underworld triggerman Hassan Topal who was firing these lethal shots. Topal has since fled overseas and is possibly in Turkey. In April 2019, Killer Bees Gang president Joshua Masters survived a murder attempt by rival tribesman gang member Agustino Tay, who admitted the shooting, which took place at an Auckland Harley-Davidson dealership. Tay followed Masters down the driveway, pointed a 9mm semi-automatic pistol and fired a shot. The bullet traveled through Masters' left arm and into his side. It became lodged in his spinal canal and he fell to the ground, with his motorbike falling on top of him. Tay pulled the trigger twice more, but it failed to fire. He then stood over Masters and pointed the pistol at his head, but no bullet came out. Tay then escaped the scene. Masters was taken to the hospital, where doctors had minimal hope for his life. However, he survived, shocking doctors. Even though Masters was left paralyzed, he is still the leader. The next entry to the list is from 2019, when police released the CCTV footage of the close-range shooting of Mongols MC member Rocco Kura in Melbourne's northeast, in the hope of finding the 2 gunmen responsible. The bikie was attending a pre-arranged meeting, but shortly after he arrived, 2 men pulled up in a stolen BMW in front of his car. The men were rival Finks bikies. The pair started shooting at Kura while he remained in his vehicle, before they returned to the BMW and flee the scene. 12 shots were unloaded from 2 guns, with 4 bullets hitting the target in the head and torso. Surgeons later removed a bullet from Kura's brain. Kura miraculously survived the shooting and stunned the medical world. Hells Angels Radwin Zurica. In 2017, Hells Angel bikie associate remarkably survived a hit on his life after he was ambushed in the driveway of his Sydney home. Radwin was pulling up his car at his home in Chester Hill in the southwestern suburbs of Sydney. The gunman jumped out of a car and fired a number of shots at Zurica through the window. Bullets struck Zurica on his head above his ear and on his hand. Despite the gunshot wounds, he made it into his home, and paramedics were called. Zurica survived a head shot which would have smashed his temporal lobe, an essential part of brain. This in itself is a mystery that doctors could not solve. These were the 7 Bikies, we listed as Men of Steel. Hope you liked the list. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and share.